The footage that you are about to see focuses on death. We will discuss the effects that mortality has on the living, both before their own demise and after the death of a loved one. We will also consider the effect that society has on our personal views of death. To do so, I asked my good friend Sarah Harvey to discuss her personal feelings and beliefs on this topic.
So at first, Ivan Ilyich is afraid of succumbing to his own death. Are you afraid of dying, and why are you not?
I think, at the current moment, I'm not as afraid of dying as I used to be. I feel like when you're really young, dying's pretty terrifying because, you really have no idea what it means, what happens after. But I feel like based on, past experience with, family deaths and other tragic events that have happened in my life, and how everything in the end has worked out fine, I've grown to be less afraid of death. I think what I'm more afraid of is if there is actually a heaven, because I do believe in that, and that is something that gives me a lot of comfort when I do think about death, knowing that there's somewhere that's peaceful that I will eventually end up in.
Right. So Ivan Ilyich mentions that he's altogether unsatisfied with his life. So if you were to pass now, would you feel contempt with what you've achieved in your life so far? And if you're not, what is something that you wish to achieve or wish to change before your demise?
I think if I were to die tomorrow, I would be pretty content with what I've done. I feel like I have, with the resources I've been given, made a positive impact on the world, even in a small way, through service opportunities. And I feel like the relationships I do have now are very strong, and I've fulfilled a lot of what I want to in those relationships. But I also feel like there would be a lot I hadn't done and I wish that I could have done, that is I planned out for my future, after college, at a job, starting a family. Because if I did die young, I wouldn't be able to accomplish a lot of those things, but I wouldn't be unsatisfied with my life.
So if you had the opportunity to obtain the knowledge of when you would die, and how, would you want that or would you not want that?
I don't think I want to know when I'm gonna die, because then I would just be dreading that event, and I would feel like I have to rush everything in my life. I feel like I'll die when I'm supposed to die, and there's probably a reasoning behind that. And I don't think I'd really want to know how I would die. I mean, hopefully I'll just die a peaceful death in my sleep. God forbid I ever got cancer or something like that. I feel like it would be a different situation.
If you did get this information, how do you think that would affect your life?
I think if I did end up knowing that, I would just make the most of my life and try to accomplish everything I wanted. I'd probably try to inform the people I'm closest to when I found out, so that we could utilize our time as best we could before I passed. But I feel like it would also be kind of hard to take that information in and come to terms with that, because most people don't really know, and it's a shock to them when they find out that they're gonna die. So I feel like it would be difficult, but if I did get that information, I would try to make the best out of it.
So is there an age that if you hit it, you wouldn't want to surpass that?
Well, I know I wouldn't want to die young. I don't want to die now. I want to accomplish a lot of the things that I set out to do. I think if I was alive past I don't know, 80, 85, and I was really just sitting around doing nothing, I couldn't really move, I didn't say I had dementia or something, I couldn't really remember or think, I feel like I wouldn't want to be alive, because it's well, what am I there for? I'm just sitting around. But I also feel like it would be hard for me to pick a number, because I don't know what's gonna happen to me if other people who are close in my life are gone at that point. Maybe I would not want to be alive at that age, or if everyone I'm close with is still around, if that would help me maybe keep living.
Okay, so if you were still alive but you were unfortunately suffering the way that Ivan Ilyich did, would you want to be surrounded by people, or would you kind of want to stay to yourself and be alone a little more?
I think I would want to be surrounded by people, as long as they were positive and they were helpful. But I also even now, I'm not suffering from anything, but people can be very overwhelming to me, and I don't want to be surrounded by people that are going to get on my nerves, and I do enjoy alone time. But I feel like alone time when I was dying would be just more depressing, because you're there's nobody there for you to talk to. I think even if people were somewhat like bringing you down, or it made you feel like, oh, I can't believe I'm leaving this, it would be good to be surrounded by people and have someone to like as an outlet to talk about your fears and or your regrets, or like what you did enjoy about your life as you're passing.
So why do you think the fact that everyone will die and that everyone previous to us has already died does not do much to alleviate the anxiety and fear that this situation kind of brings people?
I feel like for some people it does actually make them feel better knowing that like other people have died, and like I said earlier, that it worked out okay in the end. I feel like that can bring comfort to the idea of dying, but I also can understand why people don't really feel like any relief from that, just in the sense that like they know it's still coming for them, and like if they saw that person died, like Ivan died like from a very like awful, in a very awful way, and they would probably be afraid of that as compared to say like he just died in his sleep or it's more peaceful. And I feel like just the idea of death is a very scary thought, because you really don't know when it's going to happen, you don't know how it's going to happen, what the effect it's going to have on other people. You can like try to predict all that and prepare, but it's really like uncertain and it's inevitable, so that's kind of scary knowing that it's going to happen. Like it's not like something you can try to prevent, like I don't know, like a car accident, like you can try to prevent that with like safe driving, but the same thing, you can't really control everything around you.
So if you were offered some type of way to elongate your life, would you take it?
I don't think I would, because I feel like fate and like there's like a reason why I would die when I die. And I also like, I mean, I feel like if not everybody's offered that opportunity, I feel like it might be a little unfair to take that. And like I just feel like I'll die when I'm supposed to die and how I'm supposed to die, and I wouldn't want to mess with that.
So in our society today, there's a lot of people who kind of walk the line between life and death, whether they're using things like drugs and alcohol or things that are like daredevil-ish. How does that make you feel that people kind of think that walking that line is cool in our society?
I really don't understand people that think it's cool to do that. I mean, sure, there's like skydiving and stuff that has like this like appeal, and like that's cool, but like I think when you push it to like where you actually could like experience death, like if you overdosed on drugs or you died of like alcohol poisoning, I feel like people that do that don't really value their life as much, and they don't really take into account the severity of death and like how they really have no control over those situations that they put themselves into. Mm-hmm. And I feel like our society today is more like they put death on the back burner and they don't really try to come to terms with it. That's why people our age now do things like that, because they don't consider the consequences.
So do you think that you've come to terms with death at this point in your life?
I don't think I've come to terms with it. I haven't experienced life enough to like feel like I've lived my life to the fullest, or I know all the different like nuances of death and like the impact it has on people. Like I feel like as I get older, I'm sure I'll experience more death, and that might change my like thoughts on it from what I have now, given like my more inexperience in that whole area. So I feel like you never really could come to terms with death until like the final hour, like they said in the book, when like you look back and you're like, okay, I think I did everything I could have and wanted to in my life.
Death can be a scary and anxiety-filled subject. However, after sitting down to speak about it, we realized that the discussion alone can bring us comfort. Hopefully this presentation has allowed you to determine what you wish to achieve prior to your passing, and has given you the motivation to begin those tasks now, or as soon as you can. We also hope that this presentation has allowed you to consider the subject of death as a whole.